Something disappointing happened the other day when I tried to go live using the set over there for something I started calling 10 past 10 in the morning improv, which was this idea that I would wake up in the morning and it's never at 10 past 10, or it could be, but I have a fixed clock image of the time 10 past 10, which I just love. And it reminds me of Rick and Morty. The clock's always on. I think it's something similar. And I had a really nice session the other morning, and I could see it recording. In other words, the equalizer showed sound. And the AI that works for YouTube, Alphabet, uh, somehow heard something that I was playing on those idiophones, which are tuned steel metal tongue percussion instruments that create tones, but they're resonant, so the tones could sound like many things. The AI registered that as, I guess, a copyright violation, and it flagged the video. You can see there's a musical note, and I've received no copyright violation notification. And I can see my hands playing the idiophones, and I cannot hear the music. And there's no recording because I was trusting that I could go live. And this is like the third time we've had problems over the last several years, but I don't go live very often. And I'm just, the constraints is the point of the space in order to perform. I wanted to put it on age 18 plus because I'd like to be able to curse or show things that I think should be perfectly natural to be able to be shown to any person of any age. But the culture that I'm trapped in at the moment seems to be, I don't know, fixated on some kind of prurience that doesn't make any sense unless you relate it to a authoritarian god or some kind of authority. So it lacks the free thinking that has been the center point of my entire existence, is to think freely and to collect information and to process the information with my brain cavity and what I got in here, and then to try to communicate to the rest of you what I think I perceive of as having happened. But boy, have I become completely isolated by my attempt to do that. The isolation is not some kind of prison. No, it isn't by an authority. It is by my own choice, and it is through the structure of my mind, which creates the pillars of this position that I feel myself to be in, right? The position I'm in as an immigrant to this country, not born here, and an American for, well, longer than Schwarzenegger, who went to elementary, middle, and high school here, all public. I went to a state university here, you know, and did a grad degree at a private college, but in the US, I moved here when I was 2 years old. And I remember several times my parents were like, just don't tell them that. They were like, they'll know from your voice and the way you're talking that you're American, but don't bring up that you weren't born here. And I was like, what are you talking about? And now we live in a time. So my position is, in the prison or whatever cage or whatever the trapping I describe is the result of times changing around me as I have stayed here. Well, obviously I travel a lot, but I'm an American. I travel as an American on an American passport. I speak mostly like an American. When I get into that pressure situation, I do turn to the American accent as my voice is as I am as an American, whether that's in Europe or in, uh, well, no, in some places where it's clearly not advantageous. Until that, I try to become as subtle as I can. So I Some of that actually translated when I was in Indonesia, I noticed. Well, all of this is at the heart of what my expression is, which is a complicated international perspective. And I want to create some positions in the studio. So this is position one for what is going to be live material this winter.